Taylor, where we at?
Hey, what's up, my spooky family? It's me, TaySpooky, and it's been a hot minute since I've made a video, but we're here at the Queen Mary. We made it. This is like one of the top spots we've been trying to go to. We got rooms here, so we're gonna be staying the night at this haunted ship, and I'm real excited. So we are officially staying at one of the most haunted ships in America and even in the world. So if I don't experience something creepy, I'll be really mad. This is our room. It's got a king-size bed. It's a king-size mini suite, and it's pretty much just like got a TV. It doesn't have the AC in here. You have to call. They have the windows, like classic ship windows. And then there's like a little hall, and then it takes you to this bathroom. So I wanted to tell you guys why this place is haunted real quick. If there's any sounds, it's because the walls are like really thin. The Queen Mary was launched in 1936. It was bigger, longer, and faster than the Titanic. This is like the ship that dominated every ship and still to this day kind of dominates other ships. So she started out as like a cruise line ship, but eventually she was sent out to World War II because of how strong and fast the ship was. To the Ferry Allied troops, to the heart and the fight. The Mary was decommissioned in 1967. After that, she was permanently docked here at Long Beach, so she doesn't go anywhere, she just stays right here as a hotel. They also do, like, they have restaurants in here, they do shows, they do tours. It's like a museum slash hotel. A lot of people come visit to get like a historic story. The more important parts of it, this is why it's haunted. In the shaft where they operate the ship, a crew member was crushed. You can often see handprints from him down in the shaft. He died in 1966 on July 10th, so it's like a documented death. They were doing an emergency drill when near the engine room during the drill, and he was only 18. Wow, his name is John Petter. He attempted to squeeze through door 13 while it was completing its 60-second closing process. Petter gravely miscalculated and was crushed to death. The door almost severed his body. Today you can see Half-Hatch Harry as Petter, and he's in the corridors, the elevators, and the engine room. So you can see Shedder walking around kind of all over, but I wonder if you see like his regular body or like his torn up body. I don't know. There was a little girl who was murdered here, and she walks around. She can be heard crying for her mom. It was in B474. Is that on our floor? No, we're on M. A man killed his wife and child and left their bodies on the bed. He proceeded to the bathroom where he spotted his other daughter before turning the gunpoint upon himself. Some say that the daughter found dying with him in the B-deck restroom has continued to roam the Queen Mary ever since. Her name is Dana. She's said to haunt the cargo areas of the ship and could be heard playing and hiding among the crates. There's just like all kind of spirits walking around here. There's been murders, accidental deaths, suicides. People like the Kennedys stayed here. A lot of famous people came and spend time in this hotel. There's a pool here, and it is said that there is a little girl ghost who leaves wet footprints everywhere she goes. She's one of the more famous spirits here. Her name is Jackie. It's unknown whether or not Jacqueline Torrin drowned in the second-class pool. She has continued to spook both guests and investigators for decades. She's one of the most recorded spirits among the Queen Mary and is known for audibly answering questions and leaving behind lively EVP sessions. So we're gonna have to like check out the pools and do some sessions there. Tour guides often try to coax her into coming out, showing herself and singing, and she does sometimes. She's playful, she's interactive, she's a little mischievous, likes to mess with people, but not a negative entity. There are sailors that were left for dead who are still trying to board. During World War II, the Queen Mary was put into active duty for her country. She's nicknamed the Grey Ghost after they gave her a gray paint job. At the time, it was customary for ships to sail in a zigzag pattern in order to counter any U-boat attacks, larger crafts would often be escorted through open water by smaller vessels that would provide anti-aircraft cover. Germany had made it clear that the Queen Mary was a target, so like they knew about this ship. It was one of the most amazing ships ever that like Germany knew, and they threatened to take this ship down, and she survived all of that. The vessel was given orders to never stop while out in open sea, and that's because of the threats. October 1942, the Queen Mary's escort ship, the HMS Curacoa, was struggling to keep up and tried to recoup some by grouping and running in the zigzag that she does. The Queen Mary collided so hard with the Curacoa that the smaller ship was severed into two. There's a dead worker who taps on the hole where his body was discovered. His name is John Henry. He's rumored to have died near the generator room while working on the construction crew. People inside the room were reported being touched, having their cheeks brushed, and being pushed or tugged on. There have been claims of spirits looking down at people through a hole in the ceiling and then darting away. That's freaking creepy. Just seeing someone and then running. I wouldn't think that was a spirit though. I would totally think that's just a creepy person. The most common sounds from the area are persistent clanks and taps on the hull. Some of the sounds are consistent with men working on a ship. There are special patrons that haunt the restaurants and lounges, and we're gonna go check out the restaurants and go to the bar and get some drinky drinks. There are ghosts that are spirits that like to move dishes and wine glasses on the ship. And I know you're thinking like you're on a ship. It's probably like the water, but ever since we have been on it, it hasn't moved. It's like a very, very sturdy ship. We're not moving at all. There's a spirit in a bathing suit that creeps through the pool changing room. So again, we're gonna hit that pool and then we're gonna do some laps and then ghost hunt. So we haven't explored around here yet. We've just came to our room, figured out the AC thing, and then that's all we've done so far. I wanted to give you guys the information before we did anything, just in case we experienced anything. I want to be ready. The woman in a bathing suit, remember this is at first class pool, appears to be in her 20s, 30s, and is seen in a 1930s style bathing suit. She's often seen heading into the changing rooms or walking along the edge of the pool. Some have claimed to see footprints or puddles appear just before Spectre materializes. So she doesn't show up as like a shadow person. She shows up as a full-bodied apparition, looks like a normal person until you figure out that she's kind of out of place here. I don't know, I feel like if that happens, how do you know whether it's real or whether it's a spirit or not? I guess the clothes will give it away if that happens. The most haunted room was B600?
I don't even remember. So.
Well, the most haunted room was like the biggest suite room, and like they take advantage of the spirits making that money off of it because they got tarot cards and a Ouija board in there, I think, and a crystal ball. And the biggest suite, we got a little suite. Evidently this is one of the good ones, but it's small. In that room, I think it was said that people were murdered in there. That might be where the mother and daughter were murdered, I'm not sure. But it's $600 or $500 for one night, and we're po'. So we didn't stay in there, but I think we will be able to get some activity staying because we're gonna get up. I'm gonna try to get up at 3 a.m. and do some stuff and do some EVPs, some spare boxes. I'm really excited. I'm not scared. Nothing has happened yet. Ronin tricked me. He opened the window and I thought it opened by itself, but that wasn't that, and I was really upset. But we're gonna go check out the restaurants and the drinks and all of that, go get to know the ship. Right now, we're on a very important mission to find a restaurant.
Cause we hangry.
Earlier, when Ronin and I were walking on these little decks, we were walking by and there was this restaurant. You go downstairs and there was a pigeon on one of the stairs, and Ronin was walking to go inside, and the pigeon flew into the restaurant above these people who were eating, and he tried to walk in there after it. It was just really funny. This seagull's probably a murderer.
He most definitely is looking for his next victim.
California. It's like Galveston.
That's a fucking lie.
Looks exactly the same. New Orleans. New Orleans is better than this. Original elevator.
Ghost sightings. ship leaving. Look, they got a freaking water slide on that.
I just woke up from a very important investigation. I took a nap to make myself vulnerable, and Ronin seems to think that I'm just sleeping just to sleep, but it was ghost hunting.
No, it wasn't. She was napping just because she was tired.
No, I'm napping.
We're supposed to be ghost hunting and she's out here napping, wasting precious daylight time.
The ghosts mess with you whenever you sleep.
Yeah, but I was wide awake.
Alright guys, we're out here. It is 1:27 in the morning. We were gonna do it at 3. I'm not gonna lie. Ronan fell asleep and I'm so tired and I was like, alright, we gotta get up and do it now. We've been walking around for a little bit and like I feel super spooked the whole time. I feel like chills down my back constantly, but I do feel like I constantly need to look over my shoulder. I guess we'll keep you guys updated. We're looking for the pool. That's what we're gonna do first, and then we're gonna go and try to find the most haunted room, and then we're gonna see if we can find out how to get to like the steam or engine rooms or anything like that, and then just overall walk around and see what we find. Right now we're on the deck. I can't believe there's no one awake.
Yeah, I know, right? For like a haunted ship, you'd think there'd be a lot more people up and about right now. How is it out here? Is it cold out here?
Oh, it's chilly, but it's not that bad. I'm trying to catch one. Is that chair out all the way like that? I heard something and then I looked over there and it was in the middle.
Huh.
Was it?
I don't know. Did you hear like a chair being pulled back?
Yeah, I was like, it's cool.
Hmm.
And I looked back and I'm like really afraid something's gonna grab my ankle.
Is it me or is it a little weird that like we haven't seen anyone else out here whatsoever?
It's weird.
Like not a worker. Let's go down the stairs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is like if we walk all the way down there, down that hall, that's where the pool is.
God, it just goes forever.
Honestly, like look at this.
Got really nauseous. Like the closer we're getting, the tighter my stomach's getting. The one thing about this place is that literally no drink machine works. We've tried like 3 out of them. Of course, Taylor. Isolation ward. This is the isolation ward, I guess.
It smells like perfume.
Oh my god.
It smells like perfume.
It's intense like perfume. And not like Victoria's Secret perfume. Like, I don't know, like really soft perfume.
A cold lady perfume.
Machines making it like. There's no like machines making it go up. It's just going off random machines. Like, I don't know, electric things. Was it?
That sucks. Yes.
Alright guys, we are here right now at the entrance of the first class pool. The second class pool no longer exists up there now. On the way here, I heard giggling. Aside from that, we're at the pool, which is one of the most haunted spots where people, spirits, entities like enjoy existing. So they still come here and have a good time. There are kids, there's a little girl specifically. I don't have any service, I can't look anything up right now to get names, but I know there's a little girl. I know there's a woman. So we're gonna ask questions on the spirit box. This is as close you can't go in there. And we're gonna put my back to this, so if anything, like, watch closely back here. But yeah, we're gonna start the spirit box session. And I can't hear anything right now. We're gonna have to go back and listen. Is there a little girl spirit? You can either make this go off, say something on the spirit box, say something I'm recording on here. Is there a older woman? Are you an older passenger of the Queen Mary? Were you from the World War II? Did you die on the ship? Did you just enjoy being on the ship? Is the pool your favorite place to hang out? I'm feeling like something's over my shoulder right now. Are you a man? Do you not want to talk with us?
Tell them what time it is.
It's 3. We made it. Didn't think I'd ever see the day. But we made it. 3:06.
No.
I've noticed the elevators kind of take you wherever they want you to go. At one point, we got on the elevator, and we didn't even push a button to go anywhere yet, and it closed, and it took us it took us down, and both of us were like, wait, neither of us pushed the button, and we got there, like, no one was there waiting, because, you know, if they push the button, it'll go, but it just takes you wherever it wants to go. I swear to God, I hear giggling. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear.
I don't want to see that guy. I'm scared. Ronin and I were walking around B, and the one below B. I don't know. The floors here are really confusing. They're like lettered for, like, M floor is the main deck, and we're staying on M, but it's like really hard to remember all that stuff. Anyways, we were walking, and then parallel to us on the other side of the ship was a man walking. You could see him like every little bit. There'd be like a median hallway between the two halls, and you could see onto the other side. And Ronan and I were walking, and then the first time we ran into him, we were on the same side, and we ended up going to the other side because he was on that side, and he was just like on his phone recording, but I don't think he was on the phone with someone, or I don't think he was FaceTiming, he was just like recording. I mean, he looked weird. He was wearing like blue jeans, and I think he was wearing a gray shirt or a navy blue shirt, and he was like, just looked like a crazy person. Like, he was creepy. And so we were walking, and he was on the other side of the hall. Like, every time we would look over, he would be right there with us. Like we were walking the exact same speed. And every time we would look at him again, be staring at us and be smiling really creepy, really malicious kind of smile. And then the third time we saw him, he was there before we didn't pass at the same time. We passed and he was already there. And he was facing us and he was staring at us. He was recording us walking by and he had like the creepiest fucking smile ever on his face. So then we got to the other end of the ship and he walked by again and he just walked to the other side that we had just walked down. We went down a floor and I think he went up a floor. I don't know, he went somewhere else. And we went down a floor and then when we went down we couldn't go anywhere else but back up and we really didn't want to run into him again. We come back to our floor and there's like no one around. And I'm gonna add, there's like no one around on the ship at all. There's no employees, there's like no other people, there's literally no one. It's like ghost town. And that's the first guy we saw other than one security guard at the main desk, like the check-in desk. There's literally not a single soul walking around here. Ronin looked back one last time and there was what looked like the same guy down the hall, like all the way down the hall where we had just came from. Like he got off the elevator we just got off of. I didn't see him recording or anything. It looked like his arms were out like this. Did you see him recording?
No.
He wasn't recording anymore. I don't know, it was fucking creepy. And so he was really far down the hall and I felt like he was like speed walking towards us. And we like rushed into our room and like slammed it shut and locked the doors. It was so fucking creepy. Ronan sat there and stared at the peephole to see if he would walk by, and he never saw him walk by. I don't know where he went, but he's real creepo, and I'm like questioning whether it was a real person or a spirit because I don't know. I was thinking like, can entities have phones? Is there rules about that? The hallway right here by our room is super freaking creepy. I remember taking a nap. Every time I opened my eyes and I looked over there, I thought I was gonna see someone standing there. Like, I still feel like it's gonna happen. Not a lot is happening right now, and then it can provide words in the word bank. Over here, this moves when it hears. Oh my god. He gets down on the. Oh, it's saying something. Plane. Plane. The EMF is turning red. That means it's really, really strong. Oh, it's probably growling if I had the sound on right now. Can you give us a name? Oh, that's interesting. Look. Debunked. This app gives off radiation. Saying something else. Field. Plane? Field? Like a plane? A field? What if this is someone who's from up here? World War II? Yeah. Were you a farmer? Can you give us a name? Did you die on the ship? That was a very clear no. Were you killed because of the ship? I heard knocking. Yeah, I could hear The ghost just called me a nerd. Were you involved in World War II? That's World War I. Are you gonna storm Area 51 with us? Do you want to talk to us? Are you trapped here? Or did you come back because this is your favorite? I heard 1 twice. 11? Were you 11? Kid, I think? There's like so much commotion going on around us. What are the names of the spirits? We were smelling perfume earlier when we were walking. We smelled 2 different perfumes on the same floor but opposite ends. Was that you? I'm just tired. Were you the creepy guy following us? Was that guy a person or a ghost? Either way, he was creepy as fuck. What time is it? King? I heard King, I think. The weird thing is, like, when we were looking for the $500 super haunted suite, it was on B floor, and we didn't see 300 rooms. It was all 400. That's where the weird guy was? What if that weird guy was the guy that killed his wife and kid? That guy is creepy. Like, I'm gonna be really fucking mad if he is a spirit, and I wake up and he's standing in this hallway in the middle of the night. I will lose my shit. I just saw a mist over there. On this side.
What?
Yeah, I saw a mist move from right here to here. Like, it went from here to there. Anyways, when we were staying in a hotel in Arizona, prior to that we went walking around and I found a black crow feather, and then on the way back I found a gray crow feather, and then before we showed up at the hotel I bought this snowflake obsidian, and it protects you spiritually, protects you and stuff like that, keeps negative energy away from you. And then black feathers mean that your guardians are with you, protecting you, and I feel like that's important to the story later. But it was just like a regular Motel 8. There were 2 queens and a bunk bed, and there's 6 people and we're all in the same room, and me and Ronin are in one bed, and then his parents are in the other bed, and then on the other side was the bunk bed. His mom said she kept feeling someone sitting at the end of the bed, and then his sister said she saw him, Ronin, standing up in the middle of the night by the curtains, and that she could see his outline, and so she was trying to get his attention. She was waving her phone light. Then I think she said she like turned the light on and no one was there, like a little light flashed over there and no one was there, which I think is weird because I was the last one to go to sleep because everyone was sleeping and I was watching Netflix on my phone. I watched a whole movie by myself while everyone was sleeping, so I didn't experience anything. But that's where I feel like the protection thing comes in. Then everyone said it was really cold, but I didn't get cold. I was actually kind of hot. Yep, that's all I got for that one. I really hate the fact that a lot of the ship, even during the daytime, is like closed off. You can't go to, because a lot of things happen in the engine room, and a lot of things happen in just like where people work, you know, dangerous spots. You can't get to any of those. But we did a session outside of the pool. It's pretty good. It was spooky. Toward the end, I felt like something was gonna grab my shoulder, and then we rushed back to our room. We pretty much just went straight back to our room. We did pretty much everything you could on this boat. We could not find that one freaking room. The super haunted one. I don't know where it is. We'll look for it in the morning, but maybe I'll get drug out of the bed tonight. I don't know. If it's good content for my fans, then it's good content for me. On one floor specifically, the isolation ward, or the isolation floor, or whatever the friggin' it's called, that floor made me feel so nauseous. We went to that on our floor. Like I said, our floor is like really dark and really long, but it feels better than even the floors that are lit really well and stuff. While we were out there, I saw a lot of shadows in the corner of my eyes, like a lot. And that could definitely have something to do with the fact that I am super tired. Room B474. That's where the mom and the daughter were strangled. That's like the entire floor that made us feel super uncomfortable. And that was the floor where the weird guy started. So he killed himself after killing his family, so he still wanders the ship as well. I wonder if, like, do you think that's him? I know he had a phone. What if that's just a disguise? They're getting smarter. We went to this bar where we got our $11 waters. Server Caro Layden has been working on the Queen Mary for 14 years before she had an encounter. It took her 14 years to have an encounter. Oh my god. Most of the Queen Mary's 355 rooms are considered haunted. So B deck is the most haunted. So on B floor, the floor where we saw the creepy dude, and the floor that we smelled perfume, the floor where the mother and child were murdered and suicide took place, is the floor that is evidently so bad upon check-in, the front desk has to give you a list of every room with reported incidents. People say that they hear strange noises. There's a lot of strange noises. It's a ship and it's old, so noises don't get me unless it's like a defined noise. They'll hear footsteps. We hear a lot of footsteps, but also I don't know what's above us. Faucets turn off and on. Hangers move in the closet. Furniture moves. Voices. Guests are touched. Oh, and the comforter being ripped off the bed. Numerous other incidents caused the management to close B340, which is the room we couldn't find. Wasn't available, but now it is available for guests to stay in. People see full-bodied apparitions appearing in front of them and then vanishing through the walls of B340, the room we couldn't find. We're gonna go try to find it during the day though. I'm not going back to the B floor at night though, like, that floor feels bad. Ghostly Allied troops are still gunning to take Hitler down. Well, good news for them, Hitler's dead. At one point, it carried 800,000 soldiers overseas. The Queen Mary holds the record for most people aboard a floating vessel at one time. Soldiers were dangerously overcrowded on the ship, and unfortunately, as part of security, records weren't kept from World War II. Crews were crowded below in 120-degree temperatures. There was no ventilation, portholes were welded shut because of blackouts, and they were losing people from heat strokes. It was estimated that because of these conditions, there was a burial at seas every 4 hours.
Every 4 hours?
This could explain the numerous sightings of men in World War II era soldier uniforms roaming A, B, and M. A poisoned officer patrols the main deck. That's ours, M. So an officer who was poisoned on September 18th, 1948. His name was William E. Stark. He was on the hunt for some gin. His captain gave Stark permission to have a drink, but he was unable to locate the liquor. Fr Strokes located the wayward alcohol and handed it over to Stark. But it ended up that the shipmate used the empty gin bottle to store some cleaning fluid, tetrachloride, and
He wasn't poisoned, he just drank.
yeah, he drank a thing that was like improperly stored and he died, and that's not
OSHA regulated.
An officer, I mean, if you're listening right now, buddy, he drank some cleaning fluid. I feel like this is a little hard to do. Like, how do you just swallow that instead of like spitting it out and be like, what is this? No, he swallowed it. He came to his cabin and said, I drank some kind of acid. And then the guy who gave it to him said, I'm sorry, sir, I thought it was gin. So Stark, the guy who drank the cleaning stuff, fell into a coma and died. He's been spotted walking through his personal quarters along the main deck and promenade. Tony Ashland, who was a tour guide on board of the Queen Mary, said he saw the apparition standing near the control panel of the aft engine room with a clipboard in hand. Visitors speculate that Stark is only hanging around the Queen Mary because he's still looking for his nip of gin. Dang, we should get him some gin. Pour one out for our homie. Shadow people haunt all levels of the ship. I know that's right. One of the most common occurrences aboard the Queen Mary is shadow people. They lurk around every corner for no reason, and as soon as you see them, they are gone. They disappear through walls.
I saw one earlier, but I just kind of blew it off.
Where?
Right there.
Right
I
here?
was sleeping. Yeah, I was sleeping. And I woke up. And it was like a girl. She was like just standing there, like she had like her hair like down. I couldn't see her face. It was kind of scary. And then she's gone.
Where was I?
You're right here, just laying down. I was like sleeping. I just kind of like woke up.
You know, that's weird because while you were sleeping, while he was sleeping, I kept looking over there, thinking I was gonna see a woman.
Really?
Yeah, I swear that I was like, there's a woman in the bathroom.
I saw her like right here.
Yeah, I mean, they can move, but like, I felt a woman.
Yeah.
The dapper ghost enjoys a drink at the bar. Me too, buddy. Ghostly cats prowl the pool decks. Cats haunting the ship. The changing rooms near the first and third class pools have garnered plenty of EVPs featuring meows. And some guests report something invisible brushing up against their legs. Skeptics say that strays get on, which, you know, yeah, but like,
Yeah.
if you're feeling something brush up against your leg and nothing's there, then
You're right.
I don't know, I love those cats. Well, that's all we have for tonight. It's almost 4 in the morning. I guess we gonna hit the hay. We skipped it. So this is room B340, the most haunted room and the biggest suite. It's not labeled. I guess because I want people to quit storming this room. We're gonna put on an app and see what it does while we're here. Are you the spirit haunting B340? What's your name? Are you a negative energy? What should I ask? Did you get murdered in here? Are you tired of tourists coming by? Which one you want to do?
Ghost detector.
So the EMF on here, according to this app, is already going off a lot. Is there an entity here with us? You can generate words right here or say something. Do you want us to move to a different spot? It said no.
Did it?
Yeah, it said no, and you got that.
Cigarette. Cockroaches. Are you with the cockroaches?
That's a long word.
Are you mad at us?
I'm getting a numb feeling on my back.
Say something to us.
Hanging. Hotter, hotter. You're on fire. Believe her. Gateway. Are you the man who died by getting crushed? Action.
It's not as strong as last night, though.
Complete. Desolate. Did you get a disease that caused you paralysis? Alright, well, that was our investigation. We did a lot. We got a lot of activity on the B deck. Ronin and I kept seeing shadow people. Ronin took a shower this morning and he said he kept seeing shadows just kind of go by in the room.
It's been real ghost. It was fun out here. I enjoyed staying on your ship. I wish we would have seen or heard more from you guys. But thank you for letting us stay here. It was fun. It was real.
If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe. If you've been to the Queen Mary, leave some comments down below of your stories or what you've heard. I want to hear all about your guys' Queen Mary stories because there's a whole lot of them. I still feel like, I don't know if I can even definitively say I think it's haunted.
Yeah.
Like, of course it's haunted. But from what I experienced, if I were a non-believer, I wouldn't have been turned.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't too much activity.
But it was still fun. Alright guys, deuces.